Call today. It's not too late. 861-7484. That's 861-7484.
Every Mike in Mike Scottsville liked Christmas a lot. But there was one tiny problem where someone may not. While they were all enjoying their Christmas roast beast, not everyone everywhere had such a fine feast. The phone was ringing at Central Headquarters shop. Somewhere, someone's water was never ever going to stop. They plugged it with rags, cotton balls too, and even added a didgeridoo. But their efforts were thwarted, no matter their intent. The water kept coming, and coming it went. Their frantic voice told a story of woes. But the operator on the line was a professional pro. She said with a smile, "Don't worry a bit. Mike Scott Plumbing is on the job, and we have toolkits." But what about the large bill that's coming, she'd say? We don't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. Mike Scott Plumbing wishes you and yours a happy, happy holiday and many, many more.
All right, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. What is a didgeridoo anyway? Is that something?
I don't know. Something from Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
Have to study that one.
All right. Galen, you notice on the phone from Life South Community Blood Centers, and this segment with Galen is sponsored by Penn Flooring, providing quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Go check out what the choices are. You can only imagine. Well, you can't even imagine. If you haven't seen them, you don't know, right? Go to the spacious showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just by that bridge that crosses the railroad tracks that is named after two Florida governors.
Yep.
I think one direction is one governor and the other direction is the other governor.
Yeah, it has to be.
Make sure you thank them, not the bridge, but the people in Penn Flooring.
That's
not
right.
the governors. Make sure you thank the Penn Flooring folks for sponsoring this segment with Galen. You know, Galen, you there?
Yeah. Good morning, Larry, Robin. How are y'all?
Good. Where are you right now?
I'm on Paynes Prairie.
Paynes Prairie.
Yeah. Nice place.
All right. So before we let's see, what do we have fun today? Have you heard about this chicken thing? Wait. What was that word again?
Chikungunya.
Chikungunya?
Have you heard of chikungunya?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the expression before. It's not like, you have to be pretty pedantic.
Pretty what?
Pedantic.
What's
I
that?
like to use that word.
What is that word?
It basically means you're bookish. But
You're bookish.
it just means you're throwing out big words. Just to say, why can't you just say, look, the guy's doubled over in pain?
Yeah, but this one is from a mosquito.
Yeah. Well, and I know it is a problem. So
There's
it's
11 of them in the United States, and they're all here in Florida.
right. I know.
And you work near Devil's Millhopper, which
Yes.
which is the breeding place in the universe for mosquitoes.
Exactly.
Right. That's true. It may be. I mean, there may be scientific evidence that that's true. If you've ever spent there in the afternoon
I have.
in June,
Yeah.
in June,
walk down
you
the
could
steps.
you could literally die of blood loss.
Oh gosh,
Walking those trails.
I had so many welts on my forehead from those
Oh,
mosquitoes.
yeah, they're ridiculous. But yeah. I mean, we've been kind of aware of chikungunya for a while, so it's not a
bad enough to be itchy, and now we got to be bent over in pain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, one of the concerns we've had for a long time is it passable through the blood supply, and how long the gestation period is. So, because that's really when we're concerned, when a virus can go in your bloodstream and you can transfer it to someone. It's really how long it takes before the symptoms show up. That's the problem with HIV and AIDS. That's a problem with hepatitis C. It's a smaller problem with malaria, but chikungunya, the gestation period is kind of unknown. So.
Sure, no, nobody knows anything about this. If I had a jar full of mosquitoes, and I walked into a place I wanted to hold up, and I said, I got a jar full of chikungunya infected mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Give me what I want, or I let them go.
That's right.
Right. The issue is it's kind of like West Nile. All right. So we're not sure of what percentage of mosquitoes carry West Nile, and we're not sure of what percentage of mosquitoes carry chikungunya. We just don't know. We know that it's
good.
carried by
It sounds
mosquito.
like a soup.
It kind of does, yeah. But we just don't know how long the mosquitoes, what percentage of the population carry it, and we don't know who reacts to it. not everybody reacts to West Nile, right? You know, and people of that are healthy and that are not children or the elderly, they may feel like, oh wow, I just feel a little, you know, I feel like I got a flu-like symptoms today, and it's gone in 24 hours. So chikungunya is kind of the same thing. It doesn't react to everybody.
But when it does, you bend over in pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like that part.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is it's not life-threatening as of yet. I don't think anybody's died because of chikungunya, but
Joint pain and inflammation. Bending
Right.
over. I don't like this one.
That feels like a bad month when you're menstruating. That people, you know, women
Oh, there
do
you go.
that. You
We don't
bend
know.
over in
We
pain.
don't
It's like,
have it.
I can't function at all.
This is
So,
absolutely
This is
something
it.
Galen and I can't even comment on.
I don't know what to do. There goes the conversation. I'm out.
All right, tell
We're
me.
talking about that menstruation. I'm tapping out. Yeah.
All right, tell me. You had some thoughts on Cuba. What were your thoughts? You said you disagreed
Well,
with us, but I don't have an opinion.
I disagree with Robin.
With
and-
Robert,
and here's
what was your
why.
opinion, Robert? That was a good thing.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, when Robin said that the president needs to land there with his two daughters,
And his wife, yeah.
I almost wrecked. And I'm going to tell you because it's for
glad
two
you
reasons.
didn't.
One is from our foreign relations, which this president has screwed up so many times on our foreign policy, and I think this may be the biggest mistake he's made. And secondly is the financial. So what's going on right now in the world of Cuba is that there's nobody left to bail them out, right? They had been propped up for the last 50 years by several countries. The main one was Russia. And then when Russia collapsed, they were financially on the breaking point. And then Chavez and Venezuela came in and bailed them out, right? They financially bailed them out. Now, the gas prices are dropping down, and Cuba's on the brink of financial disaster again. And rather than getting this dictator who, you know, when you talk to Cubans who live in America and have fled that country, and you talk about the regime that's there, we had an opportunity to get rid of another tyrant in the world. Now, I agree, who knows what he would be replaced by, all that. But we had a chance to finally get rid of Cuba, something we started in, 1968 or 69 with the Cuban Missile Crisis. And instead, we are trying to legitimize this government by saying, yeah, we're going to recognize Fidel Castro, we're going to recognize his government, and we're going to come in and bail him out once again. That's the financial side. The other side is our foreign policy. This is a foreign policy that we've held longer than just about every other foreign policy in the world. And so now we wake up yesterday morning and that's gone. If you're one of our foreign partners right now, whether that's Israel, whether that's England, whether that's the Saudi Arabian or Kuwait, or any of the other countries that we have these financial foreign policy relationships with, could that change tomorrow? Could all of a sudden we normalize relations with Iran? Could we normalize relations with North Korea?
Well, it doesn't totally normalize that. The trade embargo.
But it does. If you're going to create an embassy within Cuba,
I know
right,
it changes it.
start-
But, well,
and now I know the embargo has to go through Congress. I get it.
right.
But and like everybody said, I'm glad this individual's coming home. You know, I mean, he was doing Christian work in a country where the Pope just started coming, right? In the last 15 years is when the Pope started and religion was allowed back into Cuba. So I struggle with this, and Americans are looking at this as like, wow, you know what? I can go back and I can have a party again in Cuba, and I can get my cigars from Cuba again, because that's what was going on before the 50s, right? That was Vegas in the southeastern United States.
Right.
I think we're looking at this all the wrong way, and
Right.
and I don't like that.
Well,
That's,
Jeb Bush agrees with you.
well, because his wife is Cuban. I mean, when you talk to a Cuban,
Well, that's
they
and
have
that
a
is
big
across the
problem
board.
with this.
Across the board, every quote I have here and they're all elected officials or something, or appointed officials, but they're all all of the Cuban Americans really don't like this. I haven't heard any
in the streets.
Yeah. Okay. So.
They're protesting in the streets in Little Havana.
What do they say? A dog in this fight? They have a dog in this fight, and I don't really.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do, but I don't know. I'm not close enough to it. I don't understand it. By the way, it was 61 when we separated from them.
61. Sorry, thank you. And I'm sorry. I have a problem with us just doing a 180 pivot on a foreign policy.
Right.
I mean, if you're a foreign leader right now, I mean, if you're Germany who we spied on, I mean, who can you trust? I mean, how can you trust this administration right now? How could you ever go in and have a dialogue and think that we're going to keep our word?
But as far as
that's an issue.
The Cuban people haven't had their lives changed in 50 years. I think the point.
No, they've been oppressed.
I know, and so the point I think that Pete was trying to make, and some of the others in the news here that I'm looking at, is that this is at least a chance to do something different. Maybe this will change them. And Pete equated it to those living in East Germany after the wall was taken down.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same or not. I know the lady we know had her life improved greatly when they took that wall down.
Yeah.
But she moved.
I'm sure. And yes, that could. But you know what? We could have waited another month and got rid of the regime when they took down the wall in East Germany. That's because there was that cultural upswell from the people themselves, one. And the political power, we never said, hey, we're going to go ahead and put an embassy in Berlin, in East Berlin. No, we said, you know what, we're going to continue to put pressure on. And we finally had an opportunity where we could have kept that pressure and gone in and said, hey, in order for you to get our aid, which you're going to desperately need, you're going to need to make some changes. But instead, we just said, no, we're going to swap these prisoners, and you know what, I'm going to start.
Let me ask you this.
Improve the relationship with Cuba.
You've made your point very, very well, but I want to ask you something you didn't address yet.
Okay.
It sounds like this was negotiations that were going on secretly. Do you have an opinion about that? The fact that this seems like nobody saw this coming. Those who were involved, the Pope as well. Mm-hmm. The Pope, the President, the Castros. This was something going on secretively. This just didn't happen yesterday. What is your feeling about that?
To me, we keep negotiating with people. This, to me, is similar to releasing the former Army guy who is going to be never released from prison because he walked off, and we're giving prisoners of war for this guy. It's similar to that. I mean, we're making negotiations, and I mean, the president has a right to do it, but he has to give us more information before he releases spies. I mean, you can't negotiate with terrorists.
I have to take a break, but I do see people calling in, so I think this will probably be what the topic is today with you. We'll be right back with Galen Unold, and your calls are okay. I see them coming in, so we'll take a call or two. We'll be right back.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
This is the Salvation Army, and I'm Major George Patterson to let you know that the Salvation Army is available 24 hours a day to provide help to anyone. We also have a family store at 120 Northwest 10th Street in Ocala. On Tuesday to Saturday from 9 to 4, you can do your shopping, or if you want to donate, you can call 352-732-4469, and we'll even pick up 352-732-4469. All funds generated by our store go into the programs here in Marion County to help the needy.
All right, 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, Galen Newnold is on the phone from Life South to remind us of the importance of donating blood. You save 3 lives when you donate blood, and don't forget to get your sunscreen, your insect repellent, your mosquito repellent to prevent the chikungunya from getting you.
I got some in our office right now.
We got some right now. So
backpack.
again, we do have the phone ringing, but real quickly, and I want to make sure our listeners can chat with you mostly because you have an opinion about it, and I appreciate you expressing it. I honestly don't know what I think about this, so I'm listening to everybody. Ray Flynn, I don't know if you know who he was. He was a former U.S. ambassador to the Holy See, SEE. He was happy with the release of Alan Gross, but his feeling was that any future diplomatic relations must hinge on Cuba changing their policy about Christians.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a lot of people who are persecuted simply because they believe in Jesus Christ.
Well, and this is what the guy who is released was doing. He was going in and trying to set up internet connections,
All right,
so that people could, worship their God.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that is a big deal. Okay, let's go to the phone. Thank you for calling and for waiting. You're on. You're mostly going to talk to Galen because Robin has an opinion more than I do.
But I've already given it, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on, you're on the air. Oh, you gave up. Okay, well, never mind then. So, there's somebody on the line. I hit the button and made them wait too long, I guess.
Oh, gee.
So I mean, I see what you're saying. It's easy to see what you're saying, but so I'm very, very influenced by what you say, as always. Not unusual.
But again, maybe all these contingencies have been negotiated and that we've agreed, and they're going to make systematic changes. But it seems to me that we're constantly appeasing the underdog, and I as a country we believe in the underdog, but the people of Cuba are the underdog in this case.
Right. No,
not Castro.
I don't disagree with that.
Right.
Castro's
ruling with an iron fist.
Oh, I was watching.
It seems that we're appeasing to Castro and not to the people.
I was watching this video, and this is and it was a music-related video. It was music in Cuba, and as they're driving through the cities, I mean, people are living in poverty.
Yeah.
And then they go to the palace that Castro lives in, and it's like, holy mackerel, that's crazy. I hate when I see that in countries. You see that in a lot of countries like that.
Sure.
By the way, the secret talks.
Yeah, that bothers me.
The secret talks went on for 18 months.
Yeah,
18 months,
that
right.
bothers me.
And I did know that. And again, I'm sure we have secret talks with all kinds of governments. And I'm not saying that's wrong. But the first act that you have with that government publicly cannot be you swapping prisoners. Do you know what I mean? We gave up Cuban spies for this guy, and from everything, it sounds like this guy's a saint. And this is no reflection on him, but when he went to Cuba and he did what he did, he knew there was a really, really real risk that he would never see the light of day again, that he would be in a Cuban prison for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And that was a risk he was willing to take. And my issue is your first public transaction with this government cannot be we're going to swap prisoners. And now we're going to normalize relations. I mean, are we appeasing this weaker country who's financially on the brink of ruin right now? I mean, look what's going on in Cuba. Look what's going on in Venezuela. Because of the gas prices just going down significantly, we had an opportunity. And it just doesn't seem like we're capitalizing on it.
If I wanted to do this job in Miami and I wasn't grandfathered in other words, when I started working in radio, if I had started in Miami, I'd probably still be on the air. But if I was a young man trying to get a job in Miami right now, look at the ads. They all ask for you to be bilingual. You have to be able to speak both Spanish and English and Spanish.
Exactly.
Miami is the place where if I were on the air asking for Cubans to please call in and tell me what you think about it, that's where I would have got a lot of calls.
Yeah.
And
they've been talking about this every day. For their entire existence.
Well, I just want to say, but our counterparts in Miami are going through this exact same thing right now, and they are getting no. Maybe no is not completely true, but virtually no support for the decision. They are all angry. It says here. I'm looking at the news here. Cubans in Miami's Little Havana reacted with anger and dismay at President Obama's dramatic bid yesterday to end the half-century Cold War with the communist-ruled island. A quote from Carlos Munoz Fontanilla, who is not an elected official, I don't think. It said, it is betrayal. The talks are only going to benefit Cuba. The talks are only going to benefit Cuba. He spoke as dozens of people gathered outside Café Versailles, a little Havana landmark, to protest the rapprochement announced almost simultaneously in Washington and Havana by Obama and Cuban President Raul Castro. So yeah, if we were on the air in Miami, there'd be no question how the public, at least the listening audience of those stations, feel.
So when they say the talks are only going to benefit Cuba, that means they're only going to benefit the dictator, because that's how they perceive
country.
Cuba is.
Yeah, not the people.
They're not saying the people; they're saying the current regime.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And I think most Americans are like, oh, great. My parents went down to Cuba one time. They said it was the coolest place on the planet. Are we trying to throw it? We already have we already have the Bahamas. We need to worry about the people of Cuba and what we're going to do to make this right. Because if all we're going to do is support this regime, then they're not going to have any change. And then that's a travesty.
So what makes you? Why did you say earlier that the Cuban, I mean, the Castros would have been knocked out in a couple months anyway?
Because of the financial ruin. Because you got to understand, there's no real way. Cubans make their money in one way, and that's through cigars and tourism from countries that support them, like the Russians and Venezuela. Well, that's gone. Right, that financial support is gone.
Is it true all the cars are from the 50s? Is that true?
I don't know if it's true, but if you watch the documentaries that are done in Cuba now,
the one I saw with the music, they were riding around in an old car. Yeah, it was cool.
And they've been trying to keep those up because, again, these people don't have the opportunity. They're well educated. Their educational system is fantastic. That's why Cuban Americans who come over get jobs really quickly, because they're highly educated. And I believe that Cuba can be a great bastion of freedom within that area of the world. But we've got to make sure that the Castros are no longer involved. And if you speak with Castro, your neighbor is going to tell on you, and you've got to get rid of that type of regime. It's a communistic regime.
Wonder what Gloria Estefan thinks.
It's one of the last ones out there.
Wonder what Gloria Estefan thinks.
Well, there are people from Cuba living in our community. I know when my children were growing up, they had friends whose father came directly from Cuba, and we were hanging out at their house and everything. They come over to my place, so I wish somebody from Cuba would call in that lives in our area.
Somebody is calling in.
We do have a Cuban community.
We got about 3 minutes left if you want to call in, and I do have a caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, Larry and Robin, it's Mark. I just wanted to say to my fellow veteran there, it just really, the other alternative is war, and between a choice of war and peace, over a couple of spies, considering the fact how many times the United States actually tried to assassinate Fidel Castro, trying to break a whole government through blockades over the 50 years, to include the incorporation of Christian values, where the people are going to gravitate towards Christianity with or without help. If they're believers, they're going to go there. It's already there in their heart. The Catholic Church is very profound in Latin America. That's to include the 300 million people in Brazil, all of Central America, all of Latin America, Argentina. These are huge countries. So my point is, we didn't abolish the Stasi in East Germany before the wall came down under Reagan. We didn't abolish the KGB or the GRU, which is the secret police for the military in Russia. We didn't get rid of all that, but we dealt with these folks. And Reagan, who I'm not a big fan of in retrospect, I supported his great job with Gorbachev when they met in Iceland or Reykjavik. So, all Americans were pulling for Reagan, and no Americans attacked Reagan after the Beirut bombing. We were all Americans then. Now, 3 corporate security guards get killed in Benghazi, a CIA outpost, which is neither a consulate nor an...
There's a couple of problems. One, the alternative isn't war. Nobody said. I mean, let's be honest. A war with Cuba would probably take less than a day and a half. That's not the other option. The other option is that we actually get rid of this regime. And when we were dealing with East Germany, we were dealing with them because there was a nuclear threat. They were a real threat to our national security and our way of life. That's why we were going to talk to Gorbachev. Right? Reagan was trying to prevent World War III.
I knew this was going to be good.
Yes.
So it's not the same, and you can't. Those aren't apples to apples. You can't prop up a government that is evil.
Got only 45
and to
seconds.
say anything else other than the Cuban government is evil, you're misguided at the least.
Mark, thank you for calling. And Galen, we only have 40 seconds, so thank you for expressing your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, excellent.
We'll talk about the funny things judges say another day. Robin, give us a segue real quickly from Cuba to donating blood. Or maybe you could want chikungunya to go anymore.
When a country is free, you have the option to do everything, and that's what we do in the United States of America. We're free to give, so go to Life South Community Blood Centers and give so others can live.
All right. You must be out of breath by now, Galen. Where's the Bloodmobile today?
Bloodmobile today, Larry, we're actually at Best Buy, but we're also at the Publix. Hold on, where is it? It's at Grand Oaks Southwest, so we're excited to be out there.
Excellent.
Donate blood. Go next door to the Cascades on Silver Spring Boulevard, and Denell, and go next door to Winn-Dixie. Thank you, Galen, for what you do, and
you guys are the best.
articulating your opinion so well so that we understand it. And Mark as well. All right.
Well, I will see you all tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes, you'll be in the studio tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, we've got to head over to news, which is already in progress.
Style attacks on theaters that play the film.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers.
Sony says it has no future release plans for it. Many actors reacted on social media, canceling the release, many saying the hackers won.
Boston Marathon bombing suspect Dzhokhar Tsarnaev due in federal court today for the first time in nearly a year and a half as a judge holds a final hearing before his trial next month. And one person's dead, up to 11 others hurt last night in Redondo Beach, California, after being hit by a woman who ran a red light. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Fox News on your time. The Fox News iPad app is ready to go with all the great features from FoxNews.com and our iPhone app optimized specifically for your iPad. Watch the latest clips from your favorite Fox News shows. Personalize the app by creating your own newscast using the video playlist. Listen to Fox News Radio live. Get local weather forecasts. And it's all free. Go to foxnews2go.mobi. That's foxnews2go.mobi.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never try are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Howdy, folks. RL here to tell you about Dairy Queen's new $5 lunches. 4 models to choose from. We now have a bacon burger with extra bacon, a chili dog, and our famous chicken strips, including chicken wraps, grilled or crispy fried. All include a fry, a 21-ounce drink, and a sundae. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superioraluminiumdesign.com.
Hey, this is Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto Repair and Crossroad Auto Sales. Here to remind you that the holiday season is upon us. And while you're out shopping for those gifts, you're going to be demanding more from your vehicle. So don't forget to get your vehicle a Christmas gift too. Low tires can be dangerous and cause poor fuel economy. Dirty air filters can rob your engine of performance. And dirty oil can shorten the life of your vehicle's engine. Stop by Sunrise Auto for a fresh oil change and a free 30-point inspection so you can keep on holiday shopping with confidence. A gift card from Sunrise Auto also makes a great gift for friends and family. From oil changes to engine replacements, yes, we do that. And if it's time for a newer vehicle, we have a great selection of quality used vehicles to choose from with our in-house financing available. So stop in today at 1800 Northwest 10th Street or call for an appointment 690-1993. From all of us here at Sunrise Auto and Crossroad Auto Sales, have a very Merry Christmas.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
All right, my intelligent friends, if you get an email from Amazon asking to confirm your order, don't click on it. It's the latest scam to steal your identity. Jewelry experts say the diamond engagement ring is out and non-traditional engagement rings are in. Even if the new relationship started off as a way to get back at your ex, it still makes people feel good. Being in a relationship gives you confidence, and studies have shown confidence helps us get over heartbreak faster.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.